Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished participants of the Koli Forum, forests have been in the center of this session for so far, but now we're going to look at bioeconomy from a broader perspective. Bioeconomy is here to stay, but I think it's about time to ask, what is bioeconomy? Some people view it as a new promising business area, prospering from the global call for a sustainable future. Some people view bioeconomy as a strategy used by society to combat vicious problems of today, such as climate change, increasing competition over natural resources, need to increase resilience, and regional and rural development. Some people go even further in seeing bioeconomy as a totally new way of thinking of sustainable living here on planet Earth. Bioeconomy can even be seen as a new economic and social order which challenges most of our present-day practices and structures. Now I would like to introduce the first vote for this afternoon session. And I would like to ask you, what do you see, what do you think bioeconomy is today? And I'd like to ask you to be realistic about the fact, what is bioeconomy today? The first alternative is just the question, what is bioeconomy? Do we know? Secondly, a multidimensional business sector with great potential. Thirdly, a societal strategy to combat climate change and create resilience. Number 4, an economic and social system based on new thinking on how to provide for sustainable well-being on Earth. So you are now able to select one of these options, and the voting starts now. Okay, the winner is the last one, an economic and social system. Already today, you're very optimistic, I see. But then again, there's quite a lot of votes also for a multidimensional business sector with great potential. So let's talk about both of these. Let's look at these strategies in more detail. The following ideas and concepts are from a publication visioning the Glocal bioeconomy in 2050, prepared by Gaia Consulting and published today by Sitra, Finnish Innovation Fund. And you will find this fresh publication on the table here on the front. And if we look at bioeconomy as a business area, here we can see a tree with different production options for bioeconomy. Already today, the technology branches of this tree are countless. Yet, technological breakthroughs, particularly in nano and information technology, will create an even wider variety of bio-based products in the forthcoming years. Information networks will ensure that eventually production concepts spread to every corner of the world. While technological options are countless, it becomes valuable to make the right choices for different local conditions. The more convertible the concept is for different local needs, the better chances it has to be chosen from the sea of alternative solutions. The logic of business concepts may vary. Technological breakthroughs will lead to both easy to replicate models for distributed production, but also to large centralized manufacturing units. Sometimes competitive edge is achieved by economy of scale, sometimes by economy of numbers. In particular, linear production modes, where usually one form of biomass is used to produce highly specialized bioproducts for global markets, will be supplemented with local closed-ended production systems where the business logics rely on local material cycles. In these models, the production of goods, food, energy, and services form a comprehensive whole where the residues of one production unit is used as a raw material for another located just beside it. Nutrient and water cycles are thus as close to closed as possible. Let me show you a concrete example of this based on our global Glocal bioeconomy vision. In our town, in 2050, a biogas plant utilizes wastes of the local greenhouse and fish farming, as well as other wastes to produce heat and electricity, as well as fertilizers to local farmers and greenhouses. Even the carbon dioxide resulting from energy production is led to the greenhouses to accelerate growth instead of emitting it to the atmosphere. Such business concepts are not only economically viable, but they also contribute to resource efficiency, sustainable management of biocapital, climate change, resilience of society, local employment, and the well-being of people around the production units. Accordingly, they offer new strategic opportunities for societies. The future bioeconomy is global, both global and local at the same time. In our vision, basic needs such as food, energy, and nutrients are mainly fulfilled locally, where businesses are based on closed loop value networks, and where bio-based residues are used as feedstock for other local products. Although in the future local solutions are very common, many bio-based goods that need high technology or large amounts of feedstock are still produced in a centralized way, and few producing sites can serve large geographic areas. In a local bio-based economy model, real-time trading systems ensure that the goods can be traded optimally in a global scale. And global supergrids balance renewable energy production all over the world. It is evident that future bio-based economy cannot only be about finding the right business solutions that support the society's battle against burning environmental, economic, and social challenges. Future bio-based economy touches our whole society in a profound way. Changes in spatial structures is only one example of issues that we need to take seriously. Future bioeconomy challenges our societal structures and processes in more profound ways than we can even think of today. During last summer, Sitra, the Finnish Innovation Fund, in cooperation with Koli conducted an international web survey in order to identify the most important challenges of future bio-based economy. At this moment, you are the first ones to hear the results. So, and before I go into the results, I would like to ask you, how many of you responded to this web survey? Please raise your hand. I see at least a few, but luckily many others did. The open-ended question was, what are the challenges for future bioeconomy? When asked, the first thing that usually came to mind was the competitiveness of bio-based businesses. The main message of the respondents was that in order to meet the high expectations placed on the bioeconomy sector, an enabling environment needs to be created, including a coherent policy frame, regulation, financing, and market incentives. The survey made it also very clear that the internal struggles between different bioeconomy sectors for infinite resources is hindering the development of the whole business area. The language used by each bioeconomy sector, let it be forestry, agriculture, bioenergy, biotechnology, or other, is very different from each other. Many of the challenges are seen more sector-specific than common. So, this was what first came to mind. However, in the next phase, when the respondents were asked to evaluate the importance of suggestions made by others, the picture changes dramatically. First of all, when giving it some more thought, the essence of bioeconomy changes. Nutrients, land, and water become the key, not biomass. It is reminded that biomass is a secondary outcome from maintaining sustainable nutrient and water flows and land management systems which support it. There is also a strong call for a paradigm shift in all thinking related to natural resources and well-being on our planet. There is, for example, a high level of agreement that new societal structures are needed to secure food and energy production for the growing populations in conditions of resource limits. In the survey, there were also those who attempted to look out of the box. They discovered potential weak signals which were ignored by most, but yet valued very highly by a few. It was suggested, for example, that the safety of bioproducts, especially food, and international relations will appear more strongly on the agenda than we can now think of. It was also suggested that the hype related to bioenergy is only a temporary phase in global history to be substituted by geoenergy and wireless energy transfer, for example. The survey also pointed out issues that were almost totally ignored. This was the most worrying part of the results. Although the importance of nutrient and water flows were highly recognized, even as the essential key of the whole bioeconomy, the business potentials related to sustainable material flows, including processing of bio-waste, were not really recognized. Neglecting bio-based waste is a wasted opportunity. Moreover, although bioresources are distributed around most of the globe, local business opportunities were largely ignored. In future bioeconomy, can we really afford to ignore the need for truly local solutions which combine both global and local needs in a complementary way? I began my presentation by viewing bioeconomy from three perspectives: a business area, social strategy, and a new economic and social system. I will also conclude in it. In bio businesses, the key question seems to fold into two: how to secure the necessary base of bioeconomy, competitive and innovative bioindustries based on sustainable resource use. Although this is important, it is not even nearly enough. We also need to understand the wider business potentials related to bio-based material flows and non-material services based on ecosystems. From a social strategy point of view, there is no strategy. This is evident since a coherent policy strategy for bioeconomy is so strongly called upon. Here, the first challenge is to reduce internal conflict and create a common language for different bioeconomy sectors. I call for you all to take the lead here. From a societal strategy point of view, another important challenge is to find a sustainable balance between global markets and local material cycles. I invite all of you to consider what is the optimal combination of local and global business models and how can they complement each other in the most efficient and sustainable way. However, what is most important, the survey suggests that a definite need exists to profoundly renew societal thinking, processes and structures to create a sustainable biosociety for the future. Finally, since we are at Koli Forum today, it is appropriate to ask how the forest sector can contribute to these challenges. The easy answers, which we have already so often heard, are offering a sustainable supply of biomass, developing innovative products, and sharing knowledge on ecosystem management. This is, of course, an essential basis for everything else. Unfortunately, it is only the base. I urge you to consider how the forest sector can contribute to the development of future bio-based society, also beyond these options, which we already so well know. How to create new concepts, not only within the forest sector, but together with all the other bioeconomy sectors. So I guess now it's time for a coffee break, but before you go, I would also kindly like to invite you to the panel discussion which tackles these questions and many more after the coffee break. And during the coffee break, I also invite you to visit the Finnish Innovation Fund's photo exhibition on the modern countryside visions of Finland, which is located downstairs. Thank you.